in your house. And today I am doing my practice down at Penns Creek, which is in Snyder County, Pennsylvania. Again, another beautiful hidden gem in central Pennsylvania. And I'm always drawn to water, so I wanted to show you a piece of my sanity and the place that I like to come to be calm and take it down a few notches. So I'm going to invite you to come along with me on this journey today as we take care of ourselves and pay attention to our bodies, our minds, and our spirits. So come on down, and we're going to start in child's pose today on our knees. And just come on over and let's spend a few minutes getting grounded into our practice. We're not going to do a very long practice today, but it doesn't matter. We're taking time out for ourselves. We stepped on the mat, making a commitment to practice self-care and self-love. Take a deep breath in and let it go. And with each breath, we're sinking further down into the ground. And just letting ourselves stay focused on the present, the here and now. We don't need to be anywhere. We don't need to do anything but focus in on ourselves. Let's take in one last deep breath in this position. And let it go. And then we're going to, nice and easy, come on up, bringing our hands under our shoulders, pushing up to tabletop. And we're going to take the tops of our feet to the mat, and we're going to push up out of our shoulders and our legs, and just push up and hold that posture. And lower down, back down into child's pose, stretching those arms out in front. Taking a breath in and coming back up, and let's do that pose one more time, pushing up and out of our shoulders and our feet. And release. Nice. Come on up, sitting on those feet and just taking a moment to catch our breath. Being near the water and out in nature is a great way to release your stress, calm the mind, and connect with your spirit. So let's take those arms up and out and overhead. And we're going to take a little bend to the right, stretching that left side. Maybe looking under the left arm, looking up to the sky. And release it over to the left side, reaching up with the right hand. Cracking open the right side. And releasing and swinging that right hand around. We're going to do a twist, taking that left hand to the right knee, twisting to the side. Warming up that spine. Getting things warmed up and moving. And twist to the other side. And release. Come down onto all fours again. We're going to do a couple cat-cows here. So taking a bend up, pushing that butt up into the air while reaching that heart forward. And pull those hands towards your knees for that extra little stretch. And breathing out, we're coming into our cat pose, pulling that navel to spine. Release to cow, lifting that heart up. And back to cat, pulling that navel in. And release. We're going to come all the way up, and I'm going to face towards you so you can see. We're going to take that right foot out to the side, coming into gate pose. Bring those arms up overhead, reach to the sky, and then we're going to bend over to the right, reaching with that right hand down the right shin and stretching that left hand out and over the head. And find that peace wherever you are. And if anything is distracting you right now, just gently bring your focus back to your body and this moment in time that you're taking care of yourself. And release that. And come on up to the other side, bringing that left foot out. Take those arms up and overhead and bend to the left. Reaching that left hand down the shin as you're reaching up overhead with the right hand. And release. And let's come back down. And we're going to tuck those toes underneath, coming into our first down dog, pushing back nice and easy. And you can keep your knees as bent as you need to. Let's do a little pedaling out of the feet. Stretching those calves, melting that heart down to the earth. Getting grounded. And continue to breathe. And if you find your breathing getting choppy, just reset, take a deep breath. Nice, and let go. Bring those feet to stillness. Get in a nice stretch. And we're going to walk those feet to the front of our mat. Taking our half lift and back down. And we're going to rise all the way up and do a set of sun salutations. How appropriate with the sun shining on us. Reaching up to the sky, bringing palms together and down to heart center. Take a deep breath in as we drop those arms down and around and up and bring them back up to the sky and drop forward into a forward fold. Bringing those hands down to the ground. Stretch and take a half lift up and lower back down and gently step back into lowering down for chaturanga, and you can come into cobra or up dog, flipping those feet over and pushing up and back for down dog. Let's take a deep breath. Take those feet up to the front of your mat. Take a half lift and lower and rise all the way up. Reaching up to the sky, bringing hands together and down to heart center. Take those arms down and around and up, reach to the sky, and falling forward, we're going to come back down to our fold and half lift. And back down, and step back, and down for chaturanga. Up dog, and back to down dog. Walk those feet forward to the front of your mat. Half lift and lower. And come on up all the way to high mountain. Hands together. Bring them to heart center. Arms down and around and up. And falling forward to forward fold. Half lift and back down and step back. Lowering for chaturanga. Push up and back to down dog. And let's walk forward, and we're going to come into our sun salutation B. So we're going to take a half lift and lower and bend our knees and come into chair pose. So sitting back, you're going to put most of the weight into your heels, and you're going to reach up, seeing how far you can sink down, sinking down into the earth. And rise up. Bring those hands together and bring them down to heart center. Catch your breath. Bring those arms down and around and up, and come on back down to chair pose and forward fold. Come up for half lift and back down and step back and lower for chaturanga. To up dog and down dog. Let's walk those feet to the front of the mat. Half lift and lower. And bend those knees to come into chair pose. Sitting back, reaching up, and sitting as far back as you can. Rise up. Hands together, down to heart center, and take a breath. Arms down and around and up, and back down into chair pose, and forward fold. Half lift, and down, and step back. Lower for chaturanga, and push up, and back to down dog. Walk those feet again to the front of the mat. We're going to bend those knees. We're going to come into chair pose. And this time, bring those hands together down to heart center. And we're going to take a nice twist to the right. Ooh, I hear crackage. If you want to go a little deeper in this pose, take those arms out. Left fingertips to the ground, right fingertips to the sky. Connecting with the sky, the earth, the water, the warmth of the sun. Releasing any tension, and bring those hands together. Come back to neutral. Rise up, hands down to heart center. Catch your breath. Down to chair pose. Hold that. Hands together overhead and pull them into heart center this time. Twist to the left. Hooking that right elbow to the left knee. Looking up. Sitting back as far as you can. And if you want a little extra challenge, taking those arms all the way out. Fingertips to the ground, left fingertips to the sky. With all nature offer us. And release, bring those hands together, come back to center, stand up. Hands to heart center. Take a dive, forward fold. Lift up halfway and lower down, coming all the way down for chaturanga. Rising up to up dog or cobra and push back to down dog. Float that right foot up behind you. And we're going to take that leg all the way through to come to our crescent lunge. And hold that and see if you can sink a little deeper into that lunge. Finding balance. And lower those hands to frame your foot. Bring the right back to meet the left and lower down for chaturanga. Push to up dog and down dog. Float that left foot up and bring it all the way through. Come up to our crescent lunge on the left side, seeing if you can sink a little deeper. And lower back down for chaturanga. And push back to down dog. Raise that right foot up, bring it all the way through. And we're gonna hold it here for low lunge and push that heart forward, reaching it forward while stretching that back leg. Now lower that left knee and we're going to come back to flex that right foot as we sit on the left foot, and we're going to hinge at the hips and bend over that right leg. And you can do this however is comfortable or accessible for you. Bending over and getting a nice stretch in that thigh, that full leg stretch. Reaching forward with your hands, or take your hands back, whatever works for you. Listen to your body. And come on up to low lunge, placing your left hand by your right foot. We're going to take a twist up with that right hand, reaching again for the sky. And bring that hand down to frame your foot. Take that right foot back, lowering for chaturanga, to up dog and down dog. Float that left foot up and bring it all the way through. Coming up, staying here. Shine that heart forward, stretch that leg back. And lower that right knee as you bring your left leg straight out in front of you, sitting on that right foot, and stretch out over that left leg. Roll forward into low lunge. Place that right hand next to your left foot and take a twist up to the left with the left hand reaching up to the sky. Left hand comes down to frame the foot with the right. Bring that left foot back to meet the right. Lower down for chaturanga. Lifting up and back to down dog. Let's take a walk to the front of the mat, and we're going to slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time. Last thing to come up is the head. Coming into low mountain pose. Let's find strength and power in this posture. And I'm going to face you, but you can continue to face forward to the front of your mat. We're going to take those arms up and overhead, and we're going to find balance here, taking that right knee to bend. Yeah, find balance. Bring that leg up. Bring the hands together overhead. And we're going to send that foot out behind us while reaching out in front of us with our hands. flexing that back foot. We're finding warrior 3. Come on back up, bring that leg through. Keeping those hands together, bringing them to heart center. We're going to take that right foot and we're going to place it anywhere on the left leg. So we're going to come into tree pose. You may just want to keep it right here at the ankle. That's fine too. If you want to bring it up a little further, just make sure that you're not pushing on the crook of that leg. We don't want to have a knee injury. So you can bring that foot all the way up and hold it. And bring that knee forward, lowering that leg, raising the arms, and forward fold, coming to a half lift, and down, coming out, and down for chaturanga. Push up and back. Let's walk forward again, and we're going to slowly roll up for our low mountain. Head is last to come. Stand in low mountain. Catch your breath. Some days that's all we can do is catch our breath. Breathing is so essential, not just for life, but taking that deep cleansing breath is essential for resetting our minds, our bodies, and our spirit. Take those arms up and over our head and lift that left knee up and balance. It's a little hard on the rocks. Bring those hands together. I'm not doing very well. Bring those hands together overhead. And we're going to come into our warrior 3 balance. Take that left leg back while taking those arms in front of us. And lower that leg. Come into our tree pose. Bringing that knee up, foot onto the right leg, hands to heart center. And knee forward, up to high mountain, and falling forward to forward fold. Take a half lift and come on back for chaturanga. And push back to down dog. So we've done some balancing and stretching. We're gonna exercise a little strength and create a little more heat. So we're gonna roll over into our plank pose. Place that left hand right under our chin and come over into side plank. And using that tree pose again, slide that right foot up the leg and hold into tree pose. And from here, place that right foot down to this behind that left leg and come into wild thing. Pushing those hip points up, giving a little arch, stretching that right arm back, and bring that right arm back around, coming into our plank, lowering down for chaturanga, to up dog, and back to down dog. And this is one of those poses that it probably will feel really good to drop down into child's pose if you want to rest your arms. So we're going to roll back over to plank pose. Place that right hand underneath the chin. Come over to side plank on the right side. So we're looking to the left side, and we're going to slide that left foot up the leg, coming into our tree pose. Then take that left foot, drop it behind that right knee, and come into Wild Thing. And take that left arm, let's this back around to neutral, lower down for chaturanga. Push to up dog and back to down dog. Float that right leg up, and we're going to take it forward. We're going to drop that back heel and come on up to Warrior One. Drop those hands back behind your back, clasp them. We're going to hinge at the hips, coming over for Peaceful Warrior. So this is a great pose for balance, stretching, strengthening, all at the same time. Come on up. And come on down and straighten that leg in front of you. Take a little lift up and lean out over that leg, stretching into our triangle pose. Bend that front knee, and we're going to bring those hands up a few inches in front, and we're going to come into our half split, lifting that leg, that left leg up, and drop it down to meet the right. Take a half lift and lower. Step back for chaturanga. Lowering, lifting up for up dog, and push back for down dog. Float that left foot up, and this time bring it all the way through. Drop that right heel down. Come on up for Warrior One. Get your feet under you, hip points straight. Float those hands back behind your back and clasp them. Shine that heart to the sky and lean out over that knee. Taking those knuckles up to the sky as you bend out over that left knee. And drop those knuckles down over your head. And rise up. Bring those arms overhead, straighten that front leg, and we're gonna stretch out over that straight leg, hinging at the hips. Bend that front knee and lift that back leg up to find your standing split. Drop that right foot to meet the left. Half lift and back down. Take a step back to plank and lower for chaturanga. Lift up and push back for down dog. Nice. Let's take it to the front of the mat, walking up. And we're going to rise up, hands overhead for high mountain. And we're going to take that right foot. We're going to balance on our left. Maybe bend that left knee a little bit as we rest that right leg over top. And we're going to take that, it's a balancing act. Take that right hand under the left. And balance there. And if you can't, some days I'm really balanced and some days I'm not, and it's okay. If you can't do a full eagle pose, it is okay to cross at the knees and lower down, kickstanding with that right foot. And I'm going to do that. And I'm going to be okay with it. We're striving for excellence, not perfection. And hold it. And rise up, releasing everything. Hands overhead, diving forward. Coming to half lift and lower. And step back for chaturanga. Lowering down, lifting up and push back. Nice. Let's walk up front again. Let's rise up, hands overhead, and bend that right knee while taking that left knee over the right. And I'm going to kickstand again, but if your balance is really good, you are welcome to do that. Take those arms. So it's always the opposite arm goes over or under. So we're over with the left knee. So that means that the left arm comes under the right arm. So come into our eagle pose. See if you can get deep into the posture. Pushing those hands together, getting a nice stretch in the shoulders. And stand up, release. Arms up into high mountain. And forward fold. Take a little lift up and step back to plank pose, lower down to chaturanga. Lift up and push back. All right. We're going to float that right leg up to the sky, and we're going to bring it all the way through to our pigeon pose. Now, you do what's accessible to you. If this is all you can do, that's all you can do. It's okay. It's a journey. You can work your way into it. So we're going to come into pigeon, bending that right knee in front of us, taking that left leg back, and we're going to take those arms in front of us, walking them out front, and coming down for a nice stretch. And just holding this. And this is my favorite posture for staying here for a few breaths and just listening to all the sounds around me. Even if it's just listening to my breath or my heartbeat. Today I hear crickets and birds and the water running. I even hear the frogs hopping into the water and splashing. And we're going to push our way back. Bend that left leg up. And if you can, take that left hand back to grab the left foot and pull with your hand while pushing with your foot. And if you want to try to balance that, raising that right hand up overhead. You may even have mermaid in your practice, and you are free to go ahead and express that. I'm still working on that. And lower everything down. Come on up to bring both feet together into a plank and lower down for chaturanga. pushing into up dog and back to down dog. Float that left foot up and bring it all the way through to our pigeon pose. And just going as far as your body is telling you to go. And walk those hands out in front of you. Rest your head on your hands or arms or mat. Listening to your body. Listen to the sounds around you. Staying present. If you get distracted, gently pull yourself back to the here and now. Finding your way back up, push your body up, bend that back leg, take your right hand back to grab your right foot, pull your right foot in towards your side, your back, and push with your foot so you have tension on both sides. My balance isn't as good on this side. I can try it, but I don't know if I'll stay up. Okay, for a brief moment, we're working on it. And release. Bring that right arm in front of you. Tuck that right foot under. Bring the left to meet it and lower down for chaturanga. And push up and back. And we're going to walk to the center of our mat. And slowly roll up. Shoulders and then head as the last to come. Stand in low mountain. And we're going to just turn to the long edge of our mat, coming into a straddle. We're going to just take our arms out to our sides and take a bend over all the way. Reaching those hands down, maybe grabbing your ankles and pulling, getting an extra stretch. The world looks so different upside down. Take a little lift up, and we're going to turn that right foot over to the side as we walk our hands over to the right. We're going to frame that foot and lean out over the right leg, stretching out over it. And slowly walk those hands to the other side, framing the left foot. Take a little lift up and lower out over the left foot. And walk those hands back to the center and see if you can reach back to take the heels of your hands to the heels of your feet. And see if you can sit back on those elbows to stretch out the thighs and the hips. And stand back up. Come on up to 5-pointed star, reaching those arms up and out to the side. And we're going to come back up to the top of our mat. And we're going to take our arms up and overhead. Bring the hands together. Take a side bend over to the right. And over to the left. and straight up, and take a bend back, arms stretched. Reaching back with those hands, arching, looking up to the sky. And taking it all the way down to forward fold. Take a little lift up and step back, lowering for chaturanga. Lifting up and pushing back. And then we're going to walk forward and have a seat. Coming into our Tadasana. Sitting up straight, arms up overhead. Let's do a little core work. So we're going to stretch our arms to the right. And we're going to grab that right ankle with the left hand, pulling it up. So this takes some core work as well as stretches you. And release. Let's twist to the other side, taking that left ankle with the right hand, pulling up. And you might feel this in your core, you might feel it in your thigh. You might not feel it, maybe it's not deep enough for you. And release. We're going to take that right foot, bring it over the left knee, and we're going to bring that arm around the right knee, take a twist back, look back over the right shoulder. And just noticing what's going on in your body. Are there any final things that you really need to pay attention to? Give that part of your body a little extra TLC. And twist to the left, bringing that left foot up over the right ankle. Over the right knee, taking a twist back to look back. I think I see a turtle on a log. And twist. And release. Bring those hands right behind your butt. Bring those feet flat to the ground, and we're going to do reverse tabletop. So lift those hips up, pushing up. Stretching those shoulders while pushing those hip points to the sky. Keep those knees in. Don't let those legs splay out. And release. Come into boat pose. Little hard on the rocks. And hold it. While we're in boat, we're going to just do a little extra core here. So drop that right foot, tap, up. Left foot drops, tap, up. Right, tap, up. Left, tap, up. Feet down. And slowly come on down to the ground. Bring those knees to chest. And we're going to come into happy baby. So grab the edges of those feet, pulling those knees into your underarms. And stretch those legs out. Maybe rolling around, giving yourself a little massage. And bring those feet back in together. We're going to come into our butterfly pose. Recline butterfly pose. And we're going to do a little cat-cow here. So it's a very concentrated pose focusing in on our lower back and our lower abs. So we're going to curl our body up. So this is like cow when we're doing the regular cow pose. And then cat. So pulling that navel back to our spine. And let's do cow. So pushing the shoulder blades into the ground, pushing that butt into the ground while raising that core up to the sky. And release into cat, pulling that core down to the spine. And release. Let's bring those feet to hip width apart, flat on the mat, windshield wiper. Nice. And coming into cactus arms or big T, we're going to drop those knees over to the left and stretch with a twist. And if you want a little extra, you can place that left foot on the right knee, pulling that down to the ground. And release, shifting over to the other side. Drop those knees to the right. And turn that head to the left while you place your right foot on the left knee, pulling down. Trying to keep that left shoulder blade on the ground. So you're getting a full stretch, full expression of this pose. And release. One final pose, we're going to bring those knees up to the chest. Peel that nose up to the knees. Pull it all in. And release. For our final pose of Shavasana, take those legs out in front of you, while taking the arms to your sides, palms up. And let's take some time together to rest after stepping to the mat and making a commitment to yourself. And if you notice yourself getting distracted or feeling compelled to pop up and go on to the next thing, challenge yourself. Stay a moment longer than you would normally. You owe it to yourself. Now, if you feel like you need to come out of your practice, I'm going to wrap us up, and you can do so. But if you want to stay a little longer, please do. We're going to bring those knees up, feet flat on the mat. Drop those knees to the side and find your way up to seated. And I'm going to finish us out by doing one final Om. We're going to do this together, taking a deep breath and letting everything go with an Om. Om. Just take in this moment to find yourself and find your center. Bring your hands to heart center. Bring your thumbs to your third eye and your forehead. The light in me sees the light in you. Thank you for practicing with me today. Namaste.